Hey, welcome to the live. So, had a lot of mither yesterday about my piss thin hoodie. It's absolutely frosty. Mither out here yesterday about my thin hoodie and how thick it was and everything. So I've gone and put a coat on, so because it was a bit cold. It's like -6 or something. So I don't know what it was, but it was cold. It's cold today, and let me just switch that round a bit. So I need to see. There you go. Right, perfect. So I need to see certain things. There you go. Ideal. Right. So yeah, um, been out again training this morning. Back outside, freezing. Routine. Sticking it out, sticking to my guns. Very, very stubborn about it, and hopefully it'll bring me the benefits. Today is about. I've called it. If you can't control your body, you can't control your life. And it always reminds me, used to work in the city in a consultancy, big international engineering consultancy, and like a multi-disc design consultancy. And I worked with a guy there, and he said to me, "Oh, I can't trust someone who's overweight." And I thought, "Fucking hell, you don't say that thing in the UK anymore. It's not politically correct." But the point he was trying to make was one of discipline, really. And at the time, I thought it was sort of brutal, maybe because I was getting infected by I'm going to call it the woke mind virus, but maybe I was getting infected by all that. I was working in corporate. But he meant it. I thought, fucking hell, that's a bit brutal. But in a way, it is let me just get rid of that. What's the point of that notification? In a way, it is a sign of, it's a brutal truth, really. It's a sign of discipline. And I don't say this to be mean. I'm not I think when he said it, it was very mean. I'm not saying this to be mean here. I genuinely believe that in the whole of personal development, if everything's at the bottom, if you're at the very bottom in every area of life, and you do happen to be not doing well in your work, and maybe relationships are shit, and maybe your physical health is not great. If you're at the very bottom, a little bit overweight, or even just bad body composition, I do believe that the first place you should start is with your physical health. I think there's nothing better than starting with physical health. There's so many benefits to it. A lot of comments already. Hello. What are you talking about here? All players, right? Fortnite. What are you talking about? I've no idea. I love big women. A friend of mine genuinely likes big women. They're not for me. I've got a unhealthy obsession with very skinny women, and it's that bad that there's no limit to how skinny they can get. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do have a friend that likes big women. He had a girlfriend who was this girl was very big, absolutely massive, and then she did this kind of weight loss program and just lost all this weight down to nothing, which was absolutely what an achievement. I mean, I remember she was in the papers with it, and he was grinning like a Cheshire cat. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do like that. So here's the thing, right? I'm definitely not doing this to sort of be mean. I think it's difficult if people are overweight. But I do believe, just from a self-improvement point of view, that starting with physical health, losing weight, getting in shape, is one of the best things that you can do to improve your life. Even if you're smashing it in business and you're overweight, losing weight will get you even more. I'll tell you that now. I think I released a little short reel. It was actually a highlight. You know, when you do a live stream like this, YouTube AI goes through it and pulls out little snippets and presents them to you, and you can create little shorts from them, and they're pretty good. And I did one about when I was sat inside a few days ago, talking about my own situation when I started my first business and I happened to get into a bit of financial trouble. It just so happened at the time that I put on about an extra, I must have been about 4 stone heavier. What's that? Well, at least 25 kilos heavier than I am now. I put on a bit of weight, you know, just from eating junk food and struggling in life. You just sort of do these things, and everything started falling apart. And what I did was started to focus on health and fitness, and it's like a catalyst. You know, if you get broken up by your bloody girlfriend or out like that, go in the gym and start eating well and taking care of your body. It's like a catalyst. I believe this. I think there's so many benefits. Like, it brings clearer thought. Like, you can think better. You got less brain fog. I always think that, like, if you're eating shit food like takeaways and you're refusing to cook whole foods and things like this, you start to suffer from a lot of tiredness and brain fog. And from my own perspective, even when I first started changing my diet, you don't know how bad it is until you come out. It's like this now. It's like, if I do have a period where I let myself go really bad and just eat loads of crap and pizza and chocolate and whatever, takeaways and burgers and stuff, I go back to feeling really tired and brain fog and horrible. 20 minutes, what are you talking about? If you cannot type 1, what are you talking about? Is this like the new that is not how YouTube contact people? Is this the new con job? Channel strike. Fine, do it. Let's see if you're real. Yeah. YT chat service official. Yeah, you look very genuine. Anyway. Listen, I get hundreds of messages every day on Meta like this, right? YouTube will not contact me on a live stream. Who is his cousin Sam? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, inside the journal, there is this life harmony model, right? There's categories of personal development, it's called, right? And the idea with this is you've just got categories of personal development in your life, and you choose areas to work on. So this life harmony model is about, it's to take a snapshot of where you currently are. It's like a very visual snapshot, and it's a radar chart. And if you know, this is like 0%, that's 100%. And you just score yourself and then create this shape. Ideally, you want that shape to grow, but you know, if you're weak in this area, what's that one? This is an example: relationships, and then maybe occupational and mindset. So you look at this, but out of all these areas, if you're very low everywhere, I think the best place to start is physical health, because I did a video. It must have been about 3 years ago, right? Must have been about 3 years ago, where I was using Tony Robbins. He uses like the Wheel of Life, which is very similar to this. There's 7 areas. Again, I've just tweaked them, the labels, to be a single word rather than multiple words. But I went on to say that you only really need to focus on 2 or 3 areas for it to start benefiting the rest of everywhere else. So I do believe that you know, like I think mindset's super important, right? Your mindset is really important to achieve anything in life. But I always think your mindset suffers if your physical health is not there, right? Can you say happy birthday to my sister? Her name is Dixie Normas. Yeah, happy birthday, brilliant. Okay, so I always think that when your mindset's shit, it's very difficult to do that if your diet and your training, your fitness is not on point. And that's because, like, if you're feeding yourself crap, it's like putting bad fuel in a car. It's not going to perform. So I think physical health, looking after your body, right, is one of them things that starts to benefit everything. So physical health benefits mindset, just because, let me get rid of that, just because you think clearer, you got less brain fog, you're putting better fuel in your body, you're treating it better, you're getting rid of stress, all these kind of things, right? We're working out. And you have like confidence boosts, endorphins, your testosterone goes up if you're a guy, all these kind of things that start to really, really benefit your mindset. Let's have a look at occupational. I always think, right, there's a huge, when you get in shape and you look good in a suit or whatever you wear in your clothes, you get treated very differently. So if you dress well, like, not like me now, but when you're going out like to a business meeting, or you're getting on an aeroplane, you look sharp and you're in shape, you will get treated far differently. It's just a fact of life, right? You'll get treated by the same sex, the opposite sex. It's just how it is. So there's Jack. Okay, yeah. And that's it. So yeah, let's have a look at some of the points that I've written down. I've put why physical discipline comes before mental clarity. Well, that's why I explained. Physical discipline is about looking after your body, so that's eating well and exercising, right, and sleeping, and all these things, right, gives you mental clarity. Let's just look at sleep for a second. Have you ever noticed that those periods where you don't sleep well, where you're not getting enough sleep, you feel tired, that's when all negative thoughts come in. Not only can you not think as clear, you're not as optimistic. There's something about it. Sleep really affects your mental state, and it's not good for you. It's not healthy as well, but yeah, it's not good for mental clarity and your mindset, your motivation, all those kind of things. Now, I've done a lot of videos on diet. When it comes to diet, I've got a page on my website dedicated to it with a lot of videos. I've got a playlist of all recipes and meals, and just promoting that sort of whole foods diet, so whole foods, just reduce processed foods, high protein, good quality protein, low overall calories. And then the last thing you got to decide is your balance of fats and carbohydrates, right? This is just macronutrients now, protein, fats and carbs. So you get your protein right, you know what calories you need, you go in all foods, and then you're going to say, right, do I want to go fats or carbs? That's entirely up to you. For health reasons, I personally believe that you need to limit carbohydrates, just for health reasons, for longevity, because and it depends on where you are. You have to get a blood test to find out where your body inflammation is. But you want to be keeping your body inflammation in check. Now, if you're eating carbs and you're eating whole foods carbs, it's probably not really going to raise your body inflammation like it is if you're eating, say, loads of like shop bought bread, fucking sweets, pizzas, all that kind of thing with like processed white carbs. Direct high insulin spiking sugars and things like this. But they're the things. Now you can go and check out my approach to diet. There's two places. One, on my channel, I've got like a like diet and meals, or diet meals and recipes playlist. I've got a lot of things. All my recipes take about 20 minutes to make. They're all sort of predominantly whole foods. That occasionally I might squeeze in a bit of like mayo or something like that, but they're based on whole foods, right? And it's just meat, veg, meat salad on rotation, eggs, salmon, some fish, things like that. That's it, right? I've got a lot of videos, because I think one of the best skills you can do is learn how to cook. And rather than going out and buying food or buying takeaways, just learn how to cook. All these things you can do in 20 minutes, and it will just transform your body composition, make everything easier, make you think better, help with how you look, how you feel, everything. Your performance will just go up because you're putting better fuel in. So have a look at them videos. The other one is my website, andyholt.co.uk. Go to resources. There's a whole write-up there, diet plans and recipes. I've actually listed them all out, all the ingredients and everything. The diet itself accounts for the majority of your performance in terms of health. The difference between people that get results and not, it's usually diet. So yeah, training, lift weights, do some whatever training you want to do, but you've got to have your diet on point, because it's most of it. So go and check that out, right? And like I say, there's multiple goals to this. One is aesthetics. You want to look right, nice shape, nice body shape, quite lean, stay lean, but also longevity, health. You want lower body inflammation. You want to think clearly. You want to perform better. So I'll go and have a look at them. Let's have a look at some comments. Where are you living? Just at home? Yeah. All right, there's nonsense comments now. Right. Enjoy. Right, I'm going to shoot. See you all next time.